tractor, so I'm gonna have to sing to myself.
You get earphones like I got. Earbuds.
Alone.
That'd even be better. Then I wouldn't be able to hear myself even.
They're noise canceling, so they cancel out the tractor too, so it's quieter.
He said,
Pretty nice.
alone with my thoughts. That's more terrifying.
That's scary.
Sounds like the name of my podcast.
Let's not throw a roll of net wrap in the truck yet. Otherwise, I think we're about ready to go. Putting four wraps on because of how many times we'll be handling this hay. And the more wraps means it'll be able to handle being moved more often. It's not like it's just going from the field to the barn to the cattle. It's being handled like 8 times.
Yeah. Mold inhibitor for stored grains and forage hay.
Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. Today we have the Rhino Ag RDF 14 wheel rake on the back of the 4640, and we are about to go down to the valley and start raking hay. Travis and Dad and his brother Kevin, my uncle, already left for the valley. Travis is going to be baling with the 7600. Dad and Kevin moved the Bobcat as well as the new John Deere 330G down to the valley. So I need to get out of here because I'm the last to leave and I'm the first one to get started. Let's head out. Welcome to the land of no cell reception. Got the wings spread out as wide as I can go. He wants to do this as fast as we can because they are calling for rain. So the nice thing about the Rhino Ag rake is that you can actually spread the rear end of the rake to make bigger windrows so it doesn't get caught up. And I locked these two front middle wheels up. What they're supposed to do is rake over what's going down the middle. But since we're going to be doing a lot of dynamic raking today, I just decided I'm just going to keep those up because I can go a little bit faster without being conscientious of them, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I changed the forecast shortly after we cut it, like always. Just spread out the rear of the rake and we're good to go. Well, there's a big rock right there. He wasn't kidding. Gonna steer around that. Must have been what he hit the other day when we were mowing. He had to stop over there and it looked like he was changing blades out. I took it upon myself to relieve Dad of his duties just for a little bit so that I could take this thing for a spin myself, and I like it. It runs really good. Runs smooth, no lack of power or anything like that. I'm not harping on them too hard, but the self-leveling feature is about equivalent to the JCBs, and I'm not too crazy about the JCBs self-leveling. Overall, I feel like as you go up and down with the self-leveling, it doesn't always maintain the correct height. For instance, I tested this one's out, and I stabbed a bale, turned on that self-leveling, lifted it up, and dropped it back down. And when I dropped it back down, it was pointed at the ground. So otherwise, I mean, as far as like running and whatnot, it feels a lot like the JCB, probably just because of the weight and how it moves. Granted, this is a wheeled machine. The JCB is going to run a little bit rougher because of the tracks, but seems like a nice machine. Now, when we first got this, I mentioned that the cab feels kind of cramped compared to the JCBs, which, I mean, I will admit it does. I hopped in the JCB just after testing this one out, and there's a whole lot more legroom in the JCB, but weirdly, they make it work. So this thing doesn't really feel like it's got a lot of legroom, but you don't ever feel uncomfortable because there is room for your feet to go up underneath in the front, and they've got a foot rest right there that you can just rest your foot on. And I mean, overall, it's pretty comfortable. So not really too much to say bad about it. Feels like a decent machine. Dad was asking me if I could drop the back of the seat anymore, push it back, because he felt like it was pushing him forward, and I moved it back a little bit, but there's a bolt keeping it from going too far. Overall, I mean, I still feel like it's kind of holding you forward, so I would like to be able to drop that back more. And we need to adjust the safety bar as well. So we can adjust this because there's stops back here on the safety bar, so we just need to push those out a little bit more, because every time you drop this down, and if you do it too fast, if you're a guy, you end up knocking the wind out of yourself for about a minute or two if you do it too hard. It's later than I thought it was. It's currently 5 p.m. and we haven't finished this upper bottom yet. We still have the whole lower bottom to do, plus the field up on top of the hill, which is beyond this one here. So we've got quite a bit of hay to make yet. They are calling for rain tomorrow night, so I hope that once we get into the lower bottom, that we start to speed up a little bit. I feel like he's going faster now that I got smaller windrows where he is baling. He's not stopping quite so much. He's been having a few issues with the bales not wrapping and hay building up on the front where the belts come up. So I'm gonna leave Dad to his own device, literally, and I'm gonna go keep raking to stay ahead of Travis, because he's got a few passes to go, but I'm not all that far ahead of him. You know what really grinds my gears? When you have a great day flying, you do some dangerous stunts thinking, nope, this might be it for the drone, but you know what? You flew perfect, you did great, and then you come in for a landing, and you crash on landing. So, gimbal's messed up. Kind of tweaked this side a little bit, but I'm gonna have to send that in for repair. I think the battery just gave out because I flew over the tractor. I didn't see exactly when it gave out, but I came down for a landing and the motors just cut out. So it happens before, especially when the battery's getting low. If you hold the down button to descend faster, for some reason the motors will just completely cut out. It's not the first time that's happened to me, so it is what it is. If you have a drone, you got to be prepared for it to crash, because it's going to happen. But yeah, I'm still flying the good old Phantom 4. So I'm trying to go a little bit slower so that I don't get too far ahead of Travis. I had to narrow up the wings on the rake. I had to bring them in so that the windrows weren't quite so big because the baler couldn't take them. Well, Dad and Kevin got stuck. They unhooked the 4020 and got out, which is a good thing. But they took the tractor down to go get the 330, and Dad's probably gonna unload the bales so that we can hook up to it and pull the wagon out of there, because there's too much weight on the wagon to get through this. So this is one of the reasons why this farm down here, I mean, overall we just got to be really careful with it. We haven't had a lot of rain in quite some time, so there's no good reason for this to be holding moisture, but it's basically 100% pure clay, and it doesn't let go of any moisture. So when I'm walking across this, I mean, I can feel my feet sinking in. If I walk on my heels, I leave a pretty good indentation. So we aren't far from the Grant River, which is just behind the 4640 there. It's on this side of that tree line. So we are close to the river. This is bottom ground, so it's not really that much of a surprise that this kind of thing happens, and it seems to happen at least once a year when we're making hay down here. So when Dad gets back, he's gonna unload these bales, and we're gonna try to get this out.
You guys got out here a little bit too far.
What? The audience wants to see Uncle Bill.
We'll go get stuck.
Oh, photography, how I've missed you. Whirlwind just blew across there. Messed up all my windrows. It was a good one. It lasted over 2 minutes. Just finished raking. Now, since I just finished raking, instead of taking off the tractor, I am gonna hop in the 4020, take that out to the field just over there, and I'll have to walk back, grab the Bobcat, and what I'll end up doing is filling up a load, and then I'll bring the Bobcat back while the tractor's still out there because it's just me, and then I'll take the four-wheeler out and get the tractor, and then that should allow me to work a little bit faster just doing it by myself. So I'm gonna take this out there and find a good spot for it. There's that boulder we found. It's not just a boulder, it's a rock. Dad bought these new pallet forks because they're 6 inches longer than his old ones. And I sold his old ones the very next day for 500 bucks. But they definitely handle bales better. Well, with this load, I'm gonna have this field completely hauled in. So we got just shy of 300 bales, and most, if not all, of this hay is going to be sold on auction. So he's gonna be hauling it up to be sold throughout the coming year. We plan to get 1 to 2 cuttings off this yet this summer. So we'll have to wait and see if we get any more rain. That'll really give it a kickstart. Otherwise, won't be much left to grow like last year. The big issue that we had was it kept getting rain on, and at least this year, first crop, we got the heavy stuff all baled up, and he's gonna spend time putting the bales into the shed over there to keep it keep the rain off. So that'll keep the quality up, and usually over winter hay prices increase because it's in demand more than it is in the summer. So we'll keep it till then, or just gradually sell it and hopefully make a profit. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. All how farms work. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm looking forward to using the 330G as we go. So I'm not totally sure what to call it, because the Bobcat, we just call the Bobcat. The JCB, pretty easy. We just call it the JCB. I don't know what to call the 330G. It doesn't just roll off the tongue like Bobcat or JCB, you know? I gotta come up with something easier to call it. Anyway, I'll see you next time.